Hello, I'm donating the phrase hyper forgiveness. It's not forgiveness. What is forgiveness and not forgiveness simultaneously? Relative, for example, to how the breaching method made everyone hurt each other sickly distinctly before America's founders were born. The difference between the laws, the names with the laws, roles with it, the overt criminal enterprises or private ones, the news locations, the difference between that or different communications locations. See, all natures of syntax and function are all natures of our value/value progression are now being and having been stayed through systems tactical ulterior from the one that is the value of the Constitution unabridged. Those original abridgments, this breaching method knew as a name hyper additional from those A through Z that it could and already had perfected a means to get A through Z to blame other things, others, or selves to blame what it caused uh, for what it caused. And for what it caused, it maintains through ourselves, though. The World Trade Center attack was effectively used to maintain self valued roles at countries A through Z with torture methods that they didn't even fathom because that's what's behind where and how and why. Not all kinds of Americans tried to use as logic. We were shown, okay, we have black pupils, whites of eyes, a breaching method, put other. We don't want that anyway, naturally. The only anybody who wanted that naturally is a criminal insidiousness nature. But the only reason there were natures like that is because it had sustained roles with itself. Only allows that. Only allows what it caused and keeps blamed on other things, others, or self. Like poverty. Without even realizing, you got one of the greatest causes of poverty is how the communications of our founders behind James Madison and his plan is forced lied about, and that's forced self-valued. Same thing with the extortion of George Washington, and this is inseparable from what really got us into every world war. You don't leave out the breaching method that used black pupils, whites of eyes, using differences. We have the same color eyes, different color eyes at the same time. There are exceptions. And those colors just happen to be white and black. This is a semi-ancient breaching method that assign uses of the defenses of uses of the science's names. Criminally foreign influence, tactically delusions wrought. And where and how that's one of the clearer than day. Those are identities of relativity to each body as an identity of relativity / hyper relativity. Not just to the species body, not just to the other species bodies. We are shown there's an identity of hyper simultaneous that comes with, in other words, its identity relationship to itself and the value of that comes with obligations by our syntax nature to appreciate how there is a breaching method entrenched that our own people won't let us communicate about, and they get away with it because the quality of debate. It contains qualities, aspects, and natures influenced by rules of predicate acts with facts methods at every location / every single place the human species body stands. So while people are killing themselves and torturing themselves, including as countries forced to represent themselves, how could they represent themselves? They have other self-valued being and haven't been communicated for our founders. They pretended it was on if someone did their homework or not. In other words, there is the means. All the treatments, other sciences are obfuscated too. At the same time, when tactically juxtaposed I mean, tactically distinct natures of organized crime and predicate acts with facts methods are being in what has been, what motivated names A through Z to use their deference against their own, including everyone next to everyone. It's not just natural, the power of other things others ourselves already haven't been blamed. All we have to do is free speech of a quality that is not criminal insidious in its nature. Our founders communicated for us this, because nature itself does. I'm not a lawyer. We're going to examine how lawyers have been planting self-value roles while making subject treatments criminally foreign influence tactically delusions raw, and how collusions before kids are hurting each other and killing each other and adults. Already they had predicate acts with facts against themselves, methods of them, and roles with everyone around everyone. And only capable of being all the natures of investigations, investigators, and campuses are only capable of being used criminally foreign influence tactically delusions raw. Now we were supposed to be allowed free speech to demonstrate this, switching names into branch and sequences interstates too with the courts and internationally at self-value, uses of all natures of litigation, remotely criminally foreign influence / hyper criminally foreign influence. See, this breaching method needs A through Z to blame other things, others, ourselves would it maintain so. So the World Trade Center and names next to it had roles with torture methods in the form where if you speak about it as a torture method, it looks like communicated with people, right? Where and how the foreign and domestic and overt criminal enterprises and private and other at the same time. Names next to news are planting the same things and fake motivations for it. How that was motivated is recorded too between the campuses, even connect the difference between the ones that are connected or not is consciously used too. All kinds of things are connected to where and how. There are time and positions upon each formal identity of the law. And this same breaching method against them sickly distinctly too. But they are also rules preventing us from free speech and proper mandated law treatments. They are trying to force truth. They were shown needs to force things to, private locations, and or the difference too. They bring in the news and make things not private to plant evidences. They just overtly / insidiously simultaneously with a whole bunch of police forms involved with Connecticut news locations, journalists and their family members and neighbors involved with predicate acts with facts methods, and then lies regarding this. Pretend they don't understand everyone's, pretend to speak to others, pretend we don't understand, change what they say. Oh, because it's our job, that's why we change what you say. Get down. It's way worse.